Hi, everyone. This year has been extremely challenging for all of us because of the pandemic. As we prepare to vote on November 3rd, we expect that many more people will be voting by mail or absentee ballot. Because of this, DLC wants to make sure that you know what all of your voting options are this year. For the general election, everyone will be able to vote in person on November 3rd, or you'll be able to vote in person during the early voting process, which starts on Saturday, October 17th, and it runs through Friday, October 30th. All voters will also have the option to vote by mail using a paper ballot just like this one. This is an oversized rectangular white ballot with bubbles that you fill in to cast your vote. However, if you have a disability and are not able to use the paper ballot, you have to request an accommodation by contacting the Accessible Vote by Mail coordinator. The coordinator can be reached by email at avbm@sec.state.ma.us or by calling 617-727-2828. This information will be made available again at the end of today's video. When you contact the coordinator, please make sure to provide the following information: a statement indicating that you're asking for an accommodation as a result of a disability, your full name, including your middle name, your home address where you're registered to vote, please include the zip code, a mailing address, if your mailing address is different than your voter registration address, your date of birth, your email address, and your phone number. You will also need to obtain and email the coordinator an electronic 2020 vote by mail application. This application can be found on the Secretary's website. Please make sure to fill out all of the fields and either type or hand draw your signature. If you type out your signature, please make sure that you let the coordinator know that you have a disability and you are unable to independently include a hand-drawn signature on the application form. If you call requesting all of these accommodations, they may not request the application, but you should try to access it anyway on the Secretary's office. Please make sure that the email address that you include is the same email address that you will be using if you decide to submit your completed accessible vote by mail ballot using email. Note that you must submit all of this information and a request for an accommodation no later than 5 p.m. on October 20th in order to be able to participate in the Accessible Vote by Mail program. Once the coordinator receives and verifies all of the information, the Secretary's office must provide you with an access PIN. You'll receive this PIN in a separate email, and you will use the PIN to access your accessible electronic ballot and your voter instructions. You will also receive information either by phone or email that will tell you what your options are in order to complete your accessible ballot and then submit it. And you will also receive an accessible affidavit document either by email or online through the Voting Works website. The Secretary then has to let your local election officials know that you have been allowed to use the accessible program, that you may return the accessible electronic ballot electronically or by email, and that the officials must mail you the 2 official vote by mail envelopes shown here. The one that I'm holding up now is the inner envelope. It's a dark yellow color, yellowish brown, which contains an affidavit that you have to fill out in the front. And the other envelope that I'm holding up is a larger white envelope. It's self-addressed stamped envelope, and this is returned to your local election official. For the 2020 general election, voters have 2 options for casting their accessible electronic vote by mail ballot. You can either return your ballot by email. You can do this by emailing the coordinator from the same email address that you used to request your ballot, and you must attach the following documents to your email: the completed accessible electronic ballot and the signed affidavit with your hand-drawn, if possible, or typed signature. Please make sure to email this information no later than 8 p.m. on Tuesday, November 3rd. Your second option is to return your ballot by mail using the envelopes that have been sent to you. Make sure that your envelope is postmarked no later than November 3rd and received by your local election officials no later than 5 p.m. on November 6th. So therefore, it's important to get the envelopes out as soon as possible if you plan on submitting your ballot by mail. Inside the yellow envelope, please include your completed and printed ballot, which must be inserted and received by the local election official's office. You will also have the chance to either sign the affidavit compliance on the front of the inner envelope, or complete, sign, and print the electronic affidavit document that you received and place that inside the outer mailing envelope, along with the inner ballot envelope. Please make sure that you do not include the printed affidavit document inside the inner envelope. It has to be inside the bigger white envelope. I know this is a lot to take in, so if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to the Disability Law Center, and remember that your vote counts. So let's be heard this election season. Thank you.